Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Line Cage Fighting 22. I am Elijah Thacker, and I'm here alongside Dave Frenette, the Fight Bro himself, and the legendary Colin Caprini will be joining us today. Glad to have you back, Colin.
Glad to be back. Thanks for the offer, guys.
You did a hell of a job last time we brought you in on short notice. It was like, that guy's special. He's got a talent. We need to cultivate it.
I'm glad I'm here for the grappling part this time, too.
Yeah, here we go. We've got our first competitor already in the ring, or in the cage, Aven Salyers. And he will be up against Samuel Winter out of Category 5. We've got 9 grappling bouts coming up. That's our pre-show here. You're going to see some high-level BJJ, some really good competitors around the state of Kentucky and West Virginia and up in Ohio. Then we move on to our main card where we have 28 bouts, kickboxing, boxing, and MMA. A smorgasbord. That's what I like to say about it. And we have Eric Swan as our referee tonight for the grappling.
We are doing 10 minutes for the regulation time for the grappling matches. I think the paperwork here is a little bit off.
All right, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are off to a start here.
And they end up with a single collar tie here. One's hunting for the guillotine, Mr. Winter here.
Even Salyers looking for connecting the hands into that double leg. But
Drags him to the mat. Now he settles here in the top guard.
Sam Winter looking to scoop underneath that leg. Settles back in more of a closed guard position here, working with that right collar tie.
Now we see Aven Salyers posture up and looking to pass.
Good retention there from Sam Winter. Got his guard broken open temporarily there, but he was able to retain.
Now we see Salyers is in a pretty good spot to pass here. Let's see if he can finish it clean. Steps over in the top half, but Salyers is elevating it.
Great job.
Winter's elevating him.
Getting back to half guard there.
He did a good job killing that butterfly hook from half that was stopping him from settling. Now, it's interesting to see how the cage comes into play here. Generally, as the top man, you want to keep the guy's spine in a perpendicular angle to the cage, make it difficult for him to wall walk, kind of control their head against. You see.
So if you're Salyers, you want to kind of drag him off the cage a little bit so he can't get back up.
I would always try to prefer to put people, especially when you can't hit them, try to drag them back into open space. He's doing a good job keeping that right arm in kind of tight waist type position. He's not able to put a lot of pressure down here, though.
On the other side of the coin, it's going to be tough for Winter to do much with his head pressed up against the cage.
Yeah, he's completely smashed up against it there.
It'll be interesting to see if he starts to try to open his legs and press off of the cage. That's really where you can get the most leverage as the bottom guy if you're not trying to wall walk it. He doesn't appear to be hunting in that direction.
Winter's leaving that foot hanging out of that knee shield a little too much.
Yeah,
I know a guy like you, it's dangerous to do that.
Yeah, that's toe hold territory for sure, but Salyers seems to be content to kind of pressure, stay on top, looking for that head and arm control. Using good frame there.
Looks like he might be able to get back to guard here. He's made some space.
He did.
Winter's doing a good job of not letting him pass completely over in the mount.
Aven has good pressure, though. He's got that cross face really heavy.
But very nice use of that knee shield to get back into closed guard, or full guard. But now we see Salyers starting to work his way around. I do believe our notes were incorrect. I think Salyers is the Cat 5 guy. I see Wes in his corner. He's able to throw the legs.
So reverse everything that we've said so far.
Oh, but he's falling towards the knee bar. But it's hard to see if the knee's in that lock. I believe he might have freed the knee line, but he just regained it. Now we're in kind of a backside type position. Seems content to come back up on top in 50-50.
That was a good job by Salyers, or by Winter. We'll get back to top position.
He does a good job setting him back, though, to double-seated 50s. Now he goes to the outside, and he's starting to work a leg drag series from there. He's going to get his weight to collapse that hip in.
So what are your options from here?
So generally you'd be trying to settle down that weight and get his left foot, Salyers' left foot underneath of him to try to keep that hip pressure on that IT band. Start to work up into either, the 10th planet name would be top stoner control into that leg drag position, trying to slide up either into mount or.
So now Salyers has ended up in a bad spot here. He's let Winter collapse on top of him. He's got dominant side control now. He passes through and he's going to mount.
And he's not only going to mount, he's going to mount with an underhook in the elbow already above the shoulder line. But he lost that. He had to use his hands to base. That was good off balance by the bottom man there. But he's got wrist control, again, pinning that hand down towards the mat.
He thought about an armbar there, but
he
he gave up a lot of space while he was thinking about it. And ended up having to lose the mount, ends up back in side control.
Looking to slide that knee right back up in the mount, but good retention and recovery there. Oh, now he's able to
nice
use
trip.
Yep.
Winter, he's leaving a little too much space once he gets to a good position. It allows Salyers to get back to either the half guard or the guard. He's got very good guard retention.
Now, if I were Salyers, there we go. He was able to free that foot from that grip. His knee was in a bit of a precarious position there, but now we see him settling back. Top half, he's working for. He's got double unders right now. Might be working towards a gift wrap type position. He's doing a good job keeping that chest pressure on the tricep.
And it looks like it's wide open for him to knee slice through here if he wanted to.
Yep, I think he's trying to settle and go straight to mount. He's trying to slide up into mount. He's doing a good job of controlling that underhook. He's using that shoulder to start to try to work it up again, try to get that arm up over his head. 5.5 minutes into this 10-minute match. Now he's got good pressure driving that far shoulder to the mat. Oh, he's electing to let go of that underhook to try to pass. But he's
almost back to the mount. He's in three-quarter mount now.
He's got wrist control, though. Now we're in a pillow-style V-arm lock.
Oh, wow.
So he's in Americana with the head in. He can try. It's very difficult.
It's a tough one to finish.
It's a tough one to finish on somebody with good range of motion in their shoulders. But
I'd like to see him try to transition into the regular Americana and get that elbow down to the hip, because he had a great control of that arm. He's lost it now.
Good job, double unders again. Maybe setting up that arm bar again. It seems to me like when he's going double unders, he's setting up an arm bar on that right arm.
He's got a heavy mount. His hips are nice and low and heavy.
This is beautiful top pressure jiu-jitsu here. You can see as time drags on, the bottom man is getting more and more tired as he's carrying that weight.
Now there he goes to spider walk and isolate that arm.
Now he's going back to pinning that wrist to the mat to go back towards that same arm lock.
There it is.
Looking for it again, but
it's just so hard to find the leverage there. You can use counter pressure with your hips.
He's using it to turn it over, though, and start to try to set up an arm lock on that arm, I do believe.
Yeah, he's going to start shifting higher, trying to turn for the armbar, but he doesn't like it. He's bailed on it.
Good defense on the bottom. Now we might be in a little bit
Ezekiel
of a
choke
he's
attempt
going for
here.
Ezekiel.
But he's telegraphing things a little too much. That's the difference between blue belt jiu-jitsu and purple and brown and black belt.
There he falls to the arm lock
Beautiful.
on the other side. He's a good threat. But he loses the top position.
Nice
we'll see if he can get back up
scramble
on
here.
top.
Excellent job by Salyers getting his arm out of there.
And Winters looks like he might be looking to transition to the legs. Now we're in a bit of a donkey guard, reverse guard scenario. Good job bringing the knees back in, but good job by Salyers to keep that top pressure. He's looking towards that knee bar again himself. Going on the other leg.
Going
this
for
time.
another knee
Beautiful.
bar.
That looks.
That time it looks like he's got the knee line in. He's got a little bit of a funky angle. He doesn't
Yeah.
have the toes
Oh, he
quite
lost
controlled.
it.
A little
we're
bit
in
of
a scramble.
scramble for the top position. But I believe you see in that scramble that he started to wear Sam Winter down a little bit.
We see heavy pressure from Salyers the entire match. If we were scoring points, I think he'd be way ahead. But
We're looking fist in the neck there, pressure. He's not able to get a good blood choke there, but he is able to make him uncomfortable, make it harder for him to breathe.
He's now looking for the arm triangle
now we're
here.
Almost in arm triangle territory. If he can get that forehead to the mat.
Yeah, his coach just said get that head low. But he's out now. He's safe.
About a minute and a half remaining here in regulation. You hear Wes calling for the smother. Whenever somebody's playing very defensive from that guard position, a lot of times the best thing you can do is go right to the smother, but now he goes back to the punch choke. He's got pretty good pressure there.
And
now he's got his hands connected.
He got a reaction out of him with that one.
Yeah. Got his hands connected. He needs to keep a lot of chest pressure down on top of that fist, though. Looks like what he's doing. Yeah, now he's bringing his forehead in. Good coaching by Wes here. Good
Lost
escape.
the grip, slipped.
Good job keeping that.
Very impressed by the defense here.
And you can tell Winter didn't like that because he's fighting those arms now. He's wise to it. Trying to shove the arms up above his head.
About 30 seconds remaining here in regulation.
We're about to hit those EBI overtime rules. That's where things get interesting.
Still fighting for get those arms up above his head. I think with this short time period, 10 seconds left here, might have a hard time actually setting some up. It might be time to just kind of throw for that arm lower, which looks like what he's thinking about. Time.
And now we enter our first EBI overtime round. Now explain this to the viewers, Colin.
So what's going to happen here is he's going to flip a coin, and we're going to see whoever wins the coin flip gets to start in the attacking position, I believe is the rule set we're going with here. He'll get to either choose an armbar position like a spider web or pin juji, and or start on the back with both hooks and a harness in. Now you see him going. Yeah.
And Colin's going to tell the crowd what he just told you guys. EBI overtime.
Similar to extra innings, each guy is going to get a chance to do
And we see here, Salyers starts out on the back. He's looking for that rear naked choke. Winter's looking to escape. Good control here so far from Salyers. This is some good control time, even if he's not getting the submission. Winter's doing a great job fighting the hands, controlling that one arm. Rear naked choke defense 101. Let's hear it, Colin.
Fight the hands. Don't let that hand get underneath your neck. He's done a good job of getting him over to the what they call the safe haven side, right? So he's on the underhook side down, not the choking arm side down, which starts to mitigate the threat of the arm triangle if he is able to get his shoulders to the mat. We see he was able to defeat the body triangle earlier, so he's forcing him to play just two hooks. We're a minute into the OT here.
If you can get 2-on-1, two hands, and control that one arm, usually you're safe.
Very, very difficult to rear naked choke somebody if they have good defense. They got their shoulders shrugged up nice and high, and they're defending with the hands. It's a different beast here with no gloves on. In MMA, very, very easy to defend rear naked chokes, but got a little bit more slippery action for the offensive guy here as he's trying to get that blade of that forearm underneath of the neck. Now we see he's got him over on the choking side. We've got 30 seconds left here in this first iteration.
Looks like he's trying to peel that top hand off now. Fight that grip. Excellent job by Winter, though, hanging tough with it. He's got to get out of here, though. If we're timed on fastest escape, he's been hanging out here a long time.
Yeah. Very impressed with his defense through the match. 10 seconds here. And he makes it the full 2 minutes. So now he's going to get a shot on the either the back or the armbar position, whatever position he chooses. Sam Winter, that is.
And Sam Winter is looking tired here. That was a grueling opening
This
round.
has been a long battle.
He's electing to start on the back as well. Now we see.
You know, I think
He's able to lock a body triangle here. Now it's a little bit on the foot. We'll see if Salyers can get him over to that side, but he's doing a good job fighting. It looks like I can't see the angle from here, but he might be pretty close. No, he doesn't. He's not under the chin yet, but he is doing a good job using the chin strap there. Start to get some smother action. Starting to work for rear naked chokes, man. In competition, they're often a very dirty thing. We'd like to see that nice clean underneath of the neck, but these very quickly turn into face crank territory.
You've got to be willing to be a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah. That's something that one of the biggest things I noticed when I went and trained at the B team is those guys will just get their bicep over your face and try to break your teeth and your nose and your jaw. It's a nasty, hard position. Now he goes to a half. And he's starting to try to turn into the arm triangle.
And there he's
now,
out.
He's in the arm triangle, though, so as long as he's still in an active submission, time's still alive.
Oh.
He was able to catch him back in half guard. So 59 seconds escape there from Sam Winter.
Now we'll enter the second round, correct?
Yep, now we're going into the second round. So we saw Salyers was able to escape quite a bit faster in that first iteration, so he's built up a 1 minute lead already here in ride time. Very impressive jiu-jitsu, I would say, from these guys.
Good matchup. Both guys very skilled, and you know that's why we've not seen a submission yet. They're just evenly matched guys. And there's the body triangle again.
Now he's got slightly longer legs, so he's getting a little more play with that body triangle. But he's a little more aggressive with opening up his over-under to start to hunt for subs, which is gotten him to some closer sub opportunities, but it's also gotten his opponent to escape.
Which with a good body triangle, you can be a little more liberal with that seatbelt grip
Exactly.
for your control.
Now he's out. Very nice.
That's the big game changer, I think, when you understand the importance of back control and how big that seatbelt grip is. The seatbelt grip matters more than the hooks.
And we see after that iteration, Salyers still up on ride time, even though he's only gotten to go once here. So he's still got a 30-second approximately lead.
We see here, Winter's got good back control, or Salyers got good back control here.
Yep. And we saw him try to hunt for that body triangle a little bit in the first time, but he's, like me, he's got the curse of being a shorter man.
He's using that more traditional back control, and he's got that tight seatbelt grip, which is perfect.
Yeah.
It makes it very tough for the guy to turn and move to escape.
Very, very difficult to lock up a body triangle when you got those kind of short, thicker legs. But he's doing a good job of using both of his hooks to control. I think he's comfortable with his defense. He might be looking more to get towards ride time right now, right? He's keeping his chest welded to that shoulder blade, keeping his harness nice and tight. He's not opening up too much. But this time he is on the choking arm side. We see Winter's doing a good job trying to defend the feet. He's able to take him over to that side. We've got one hip almost to the mat.
Winter needs more of a sense of urgency about getting out of here right now.
Yeah, he does. And we see Salyers bringing that arm up, trying to trap the top arm, looking for that straight jacket. Now I believe we might have a submission position here.
Oh,
That's
he got
it.
him.
Very
That's
nice.
it.
And we have a winner here, I believe.
Very impressive work from the Category 5 grappler here. Very impressed with the defense from Sam Winter, though, throughout regulation and in OT, even though he was ultimately able to catch him with that arm trap, BJ Penn style.
Yeah, we've been calling him by the wrong name the whole time. That's Sam Winter.
That's Sam Winter. Okay, that makes sense. I think
Winner by rear naked choke in overtime, Samuel Winter.
Excellent job by Samuel Winter out of Category 5.
excellent job by Sam Winter. Yeah, I apologize for getting the names confused there at the beginning.
Happens to the best of us. I've been doing this for a lot of cards, and I'm still as unprofessional as I've always been.
Hey, at least I got the gym right.
That's true. That's one good thing. We know who these guys might be. Next up, we have Zachary DeHart versus Charlie Gipson. Zachary DeHart is from Logan, West Virginia. I know he's not got much jiu-jitsu experience, but he's got 9 years of wrestling under his belt. And interestingly enough, you know, Zachary was actually supposed to grapple Austin Runyon tonight. This matchup with Charlie Gipson must have just happened. It must have just been kind of fallen into place after Austin Runyon pulled out due to injury.
And we've seen Austin grapple before, actually, and they look pretty good.
Yeah, he landed a beautiful power guillotine
Yep.
in Lexington.
Zach, DeHart, are you in the house?
Well, we're trying to find Zachary DeHart here. I believe he's making his way down now.
And here he is, Zachary DeHart.
Cage side, Zachary Pratt.
Going with the old shirtless grappling approach.
Old school.
That's right. Very old
We've
school.
got
ADCC
shirts
vibes.
versus skins in this one. And here we wait for Charlie Gipson out of Lucky Duck BJJ.
Lucky Duck's a gym I'm not familiar with.
Me either. I like the name though. Eric Mon about to eat his feelings. Unfortunately, yeah, one of our fights of the night fell through. Eric Mon versus Tyrone Kenshin. Some unfortunate stuff happened before the fight, you know, with the commission, and unfortunately we won't get to see those two. That was one of my picks for fight of the night, boys.
I was very excited to watch that fight. I've gotten a chance to fight Eric, and I've gotten to see his opponent. It was supposed to be his opponent tonight as well. I was very excited for that fight, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. We got Charlie Gipson here in the black rash guard. And you said Zachary DeHart's got an extensive wrestling background. It'd be interesting.
9 years of wrestling under his belt. Wrestled all through middle school and high school. I think it's been a while, but he was interested in seeing what he could do. I think he's got a couple MMA fights under his belt as well.
His opponent's doing a good job here, pummeling for double underhooks there against the fence, looking for picks, though. I'm guessing this fella has some wrestling experience as well. He's able to get double underhooks.
He definitely is winning the underhook battles right now.
Oh,
But there's Zach wrapping the neck up.
Finds himself caught in a guillotine.
He's got a tight grip around the neck.
He does. He's using the underhook on the far
Say
side. He
Zack.
might be looking to set up a cow catcher. But he does have pretty deep grip, so we'll see if looks like we might get a
There it
big
is.
pick up here.
Beautiful job. He's got his hands together. He's just got to get the angle. That's beautiful guillotine.
Very tight pressure there.
Oh, there he gets his arm
He's
in.
able to get his arm in, and he's doing a good job fighting the hands. We see good defensive prowess here from Charlie Gipson.
Charlie Gipson does a great job getting that arm in, getting safe. Now he's in a lot better position here.
Yeah, and he looks like he's just relaxed, and he's got a lot of blood flow on that
He's
left carotid artery at this time. so
Reaching
he's-
up to fight the hands now, peel that grip off. But he's taking his time, letting Zachary DeHart burn his arms out a little bit.
You see him poking at the pocket there. Generally no pockets in grappling, but
There,
nice.
good job getting out of there, getting out of trouble.
And a good job by DeHart to not gas his arms out. That's a common beginner's trap there in that guillotine position. Squeezing on something you don't quite have. But we see Gipson again using that left underhook, using that chest pressure against the cage.
Gibson's winning the head battle right now as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him get his head up under DeHart's neck.
Fingers
a
out of the
little more.
cage. Fingers out of the cage. Oh, he does
There,
a good job
DeHart using the cage there to spring off.
using the push off of the cage.
There he does it again. And there's that grip. Let's see what he can do with it. He's digging for that guillotine. He's got him up against the fence now, too, which is a game changer. If he could dig that grip under again, he has such a tight bite on the neck when he goes for it.
He does, and he doesn't have his arm fully in this time on the defensive end. But
he lets it go.
Able to shrimp it again.
Big deep breath from DeHart.
Big deep breath from DeHart. See if that patience from Charlie Gipson pays off here in the long run.
That's the thing about jiu-jitsu. It's more of a marathon than a sprint.
Especially in these 10-minute matches, right? We're less than 3 minutes in here. We've already seen a few big isometric squeezes from Zachary DeHart. So it'll be interesting to see how his arms carry into the long run. Now we got a standing near lock attempt by Charlie Gipson.
That was nice. Really crafty and clever. Almost tricked him there. Can't be lazy with those underhooks with Charlie Gipson. Beautiful takedown, though, from DeHart.
That's that wrestling experience there. As soon as he got to the back, he was able to
drag him to the mat.
Gipson trying to use the cage to walk
and he
out of here.
And he just steps over to mount.
Looks like Gipson might be suffering a bit of fatigue himself here.
And DeHart, you know, I don't know what kind of submissions he has, but
looks like he's trying to drop into the Von Flue there.
Yeah, he's just dropping a lot of shoulder pressure here.
And just trying to make him miserable.
Yeah, he's bringing that.
He's going for an Ezekiel choke out, though, now. That's it. He got it.
I think it was
great job. Excellent work from Zachary DeHart.
Looked like
Zachary DeHart, Ezekiel choke. Josh Bowling is in the audience tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Beautiful work there by DeHart. As soon as they hit the canvas, you saw he might have been the one with the more illustrious wrestling pedigree, but he was able to kind of fly past the guard there, get right into dominant.
That was excellent.
Your winner by Ezekiel choke in the first round from Logan, West Virginia, Zachary DeHart.
And, you know, I spoke to Zach quite a bit before this match. He just seems like one of the most humble, down-to-earth dudes. He talked about it. He's like, man, I don't have much jiu-jitsu, but he really wanted to compete again, hadn't done it in a long time, and got an excellent win there. That was great. Really happy for Mr. DeHart there.
He might not have a lot of jiu-jitsu, but you saw that pretty good guillotine attempts, and he was using it in conjunction with the underhook, right, so that if he was able to get that forward pressure and bent over posture, he was going to dump him. But
well, I was telling him, I was like, man, you should start he's from Logan, so I was like, travel down to Butch Isles. Start putting some work in with those guys. He could have a lot of potential. Next up, we've got Alex Manning versus Devin Boggess in a light heavyweight BJJ match.
He's walking out to the old Beck Loser song.
You can't go wrong with it.
I don't think I ever got a chance to use that as a walkout song, but I definitely thought of it many times.
That's one I've considered as well.
He's got Zach Wilds in his corner. He's got a Tartarus rash guard on, I see.
Tartarus MMA right here in Ashland, Kentucky. Couldn't find a nicer group of guys. Zach Wilds, Eric Swan, Mitch Vaughn. Those dudes are the real deal as well.
Yeah, very much so. I had the pleasure of grappling with Zach, very skilled grappler. Always nice to be around, too, everybody from their gym. Skilled grapplers and nice to be around.
That entire gym is just very welcoming. You go in there looking for anything,
they're the salt of the
will.
Damn earth. That's what I have to say about Tartarus.
And as soon as you say that, Eric Swan looks over at you, ready to give you some action.
And his opponent coming in with
an American flag kimono and a cowboy hat.
His shirt says, well, we'll let you read it.
I like this. I'm a fan. And his shirt, his shirt's pretty, it's rated R. Can't read that to you guys.
Hopefully none of the children in the audience can see it. Oh, and he's got the Scarecrow rash guard underneath.
That was the Jacob Couch special.
Yeah. Matt Harrison grappled me in one of those. He had the long sleeve variation, but I like that.
This guy's definitely got the style points. Let's see what he can do, though.
And his coach certainly wins the prize for biggest traps in the ring. He's making me want to put more clothes on. Feel self-conscious.
I got to start working out. I'm a mess.
Our next bout, blue corner, we have Devin from Ohio. Manley from 1906 Karshner.
This should be an interesting one. Both these guys look like they're taking it very seriously.
Good collar tie there from Devin. Good outside tie. Good jockeying for position there from Alex Manning. Devin appears to be bullying him a little bit here right now, but he's getting pushed back up against the cage. Oh, he circles back out with that underhook. Oh, good scramble there, but he ends up on top and close guard. See Alex Manning settling into this top position. The legs are coming open, maybe shooting up for a triangle or an arm lock. He's doing a good job keeping his head over the head.
It does look like he's going for the triangle.
He's got a good position here for that arm bar.
He cuts that angle.
Nice.
Nice.
Able to free the elbow. Good defensive work on top by Alex. Now he's working for looks like he's working that collar tie, maybe trying to push that arm into an overhook position. Shrimping out to the side, getting a good hip angle. He's not carrying his weight. Now he's looking to go to the back
with that arm drag.
Look at
That's
that.
a beautiful drag.
Nice transition.
Right on the back, and he's got the choke. It's over.
He's not under the chin yet. We'll see if Alex can.
Deep. He got him.
See, I told you, Colin. I told you it was over. Just that angle, that was nasty.
Yeah, and he was able to slip that through during that transition off the back take, right? He went to that claw grip as he was coming around to the back, past that elbow in with his chest.
You know, that's
Beautiful
one of
work.
the best times to catch somebody in transition because their defenses aren't up yet.
Yeah, very, very difficult from a static position, as we saw earlier, to rear naked choke.
That arm drag is what got him there.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful work with that collar tie.
Do my little golf clap for that one. When I see a good submission, I got to give it up.
Very smooth. 90 seconds, too. He's keeping the card on time.
Next up, we have an interesting one. We've got Gavin Karshner versus Ricky Lobatto. Now, Gavin Karshner is the son of Jeremy Karshner, who we're going to see in the main event tonight. Gavin, I've heard, is a very talented wrestler. He's been tearing it up. I think he just graduated high school, but had a hell of a couple seasons the last junior and senior year in wrestling. So definitely expect that. And he's up against Ricky Lobatto, who we've seen several times now. And Ricky's good. Ricky's got sharp jiu-jitsu. Used to be a world champion bodybuilder. So this one should be a fun matchup. You got wrestling versus BJJ, but I'm sure that Gavin Karshner's been working on his BJJ as well. You know, we saw his dad grapple once against you, Colin.
That's right, yeah.
Which surprised me. The dude boxed and then same day grappled you.
Yeah, he came out and grappled me. To be honest, I was hoping he hadn't competed in anything involving grappling in a long time. I was hoping maybe I'd just get a nice, cheap, easy leg lock, but he was a strong fellow.
He's a bear.
The decision. Yeah.
That's one thing we've not talked about the main event. Let's talk about it a little while these guys are walking out. Jeremy Karshner versus Justin Richwine. Like we say, you've grappled the guy. You've got a little experience with him. What's your impression on this fight?
I tell you what, I'm very impressed with the power and patience both of Karshner, right? And you see that both when I grappled him, and that's how he's been boxing recently as well. Good setups and really, truly atomic power. I mean, I've never been hit by him, thank God, but I can tell you that whenever he started to squeeze my head in like a guillotine pass type position, normally I like to play there and set up sweeps. I was not comfortable playing there to try to set up sweeps with him. I was trying to get out and get my head
He
free.
had an excellent base for a guy who, you know, you don't see grappling, you don't see competing in jiu-jitsu. It made me feel like he had a wrestling background or something.
He's had a bunch of MMA fights. It's been a number of years, but
that's where he got his start, was in MMA. Most people don't realize that.
And Karshner in that grappling match and in his more recent boxing match, you see he's very solid defensively too. He's not doing dumb things that leave big openings for his opponent, which is a big deal in the heavyweight division.
And on the other side of the coin, you have Richwine, who I think is the slickest guy he's ever faced. He's very technical. I think Karshner's got the power advantage, but I think Richwine might have the technical advantage.
It'll be an interesting fight to watch, that's for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is NLC's first event of 2024. We're coming to you live from the Boyd County Convention Center here in Catlettsburg, Kentucky. It's our second time at this venue. Always glad that they'll have us a part of their festivities.
It's a beautiful place. It's a perfect venue for this type of event.
We actually have another event scheduled with them here in July, so be on the lookout for that.
And we see Ricky Lobatto stepping into the cage. This guy has only been training for about a year, I believe, but he's gotten sharp really quick.
Yeah, I see he's wearing a Butch House MMA rash guard. I've never gotten a chance to roll with Ricky, but that's a very seasoned gym. Butch is obviously one of the original black belts.
Transition from bodybuilding. He was a world champion bodybuilder.
And people might question how much that'll apply, but the mental discipline that it takes to be a high-level bodybuilder like that, if you can apply that same level of focus and drive into something like jiu-jitsu, obviously in addition to having tremendous static squeeze, like anybody who's a bodybuilder on that level, you don't want them grabbing your head.
I think the thing is he's a competitor. Like he's used to competing at the highest level in any sport. That's going to give you some experience. And we see there Jeremy Karshner and Jessica Pritchard in the corner there of Gavin Karshner.
Gavin does not look like a small person himself. He looks very fit and strong as well. Obviously got those good genetics from his father.
Expecting this to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, this is, I'm very excited about this. I didn't recognize these two names on the paper, but now that I see them in the cage, I'm very excited to see how this unfolds.
Or it's a middleweight jiu-jitsu match, 185 pounds. Out of the blue corner, from Charleston, West Virginia, Ricky Lobatto.
I like how on our bout sheet,
The son of our heavyweight boxing champion from Commercial Point, Ohio, Gavin Karshner.
on our bout sheet, it says Gavin Karshner, then underneath it says Jeremy's son.
Yeah. What's up tells you a lot. We are underway.
And
Right away into a collar tie, forehead to forehead.
now he goes for the wrist control. Oh, nice job.
I feel like there's going to be some explosive transitions in this one, boys.
I know
A little bit of a snap there, fake shot.
you can definitely see the wrestling background of Gavin.
Just about to say that.
Gavin doing a good job off balancing him with those collar ties. You see him starting to set up snaps, and
You can tell Gavin's a powerful kid, too.
yeah. And Ricky, to his credit, is doing a good job of keeping his wits about him in those transitions. When you got somebody big and physical who's grabbing collar ties, looking to set up that ankle pick there, trying to take that head over top of the ankle and then pick it.
What I'm most interested to see is when this fight actually hits the mat. I'm curious to how much Gavin's been working on his jiu-jitsu, because he's clearly an excellent wrestler.
You see Ricky setting up an overhook, and he's in that kind of mirror lock type position. I don't know if he's going to try to step in and finish that. No, he's stepping in to try to get it as a strong whizzer.
Gavin looking for a trip there on the outside.
Yep, nice short underhook by Gavin. Pulls that arm out of there.
That's a sneaky little move, that mirror lock from standing, when somebody's lazy with their underhook.
It is, and sometimes it can be one you can catch newer wrestlers in. They're not used to that kind of transition. Now he's playing double overs, but we'll see. Ooh, Gavin gets out of there. He wasn't interested in that double overs connection. It'll be interesting to see how this pace continues over the course of a 10-minute regulation here.
You have to think it's looking a lot like Czar versus Hunter. It's going to become a wrestling match.
I think so. You see Ricky's
just kind of hanging out and letting Gavin kind of do what he wants.
Yep, I think he's kind of starting to sense that this is a big, strong, physical kid, and he doesn't want to get tired in these exchanges. So he's just kind of receiving energy here. He's still working his collar tie here of his own, but he's trying to keep his wits about him and not burn too much gas. Ooh, boy, he just gets
Gavin
heated with
nice
that underhook though.
Throw there.
Excellent job by Gavin Karshner. Now he's settled into side control, but Ricky's already trying to get back to guard, and there he does.
Beautiful bringing that knee
looks
across.
like he's
Now he's setting up a
going for a
triangle
here.
Triangle omoplata. He's in omoplata type position, but back to the triangle.
Dangerous position here.
We'll see if he can control his posture, though.
Gavin needs to get that hand back inside if he can.
Or strong posture up.
Yep.
Interesting to see it.
There's space now. I think he could dig that hand inside.
He's trying to switch it over to
the omo.
To an omoplata and a little bit of a bicep slicer. He's got that forearm in that omoplata, but now he might be able to use that to get to the back. Very difficult.
Trying, Gavin, with a
good
big
job
slam
by Gavin.
Good job
Just
into the
dump
shoulder
him.
crunch, though. Good transitions here by both men.
Oh,
Now he's in that
he's in
armbar,
the
but the
armbar.
elbow's clear.
This has turned into a frenetic pace.
This is a dogfight.
Now Gavin
Heavy
looking
top
like
pressure
he's-
from Gavin. He's just trying to crush.
cranking that shoulder down into the jawline.
Just making him miserable here. I don't think Lobatto's going to tap here. It's just one of those, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah. Oh, and
Beautiful.
look at that.
Too heavy. Lean forward a little too much, and Ricky does a great job posting on the hips, rolling him over.
Well-timed bridge as well. You see Ricky smiling. Man, this has turned into an interesting match.
It's a clash of styles, wrestling versus jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
And you would think that the nice
here comes
into
a
that double leg.
big-
He's got to be careful here. He's caught. He's caught. He's in big trouble.
And he might have a triangle choke attempt off of this too. He's got that
Now,
arm
Ricky's
stuck
not
in there.
finishing this right, though. There it is.
Oh, he got it.
As soon as he crunched,
Yep.
it changed things.
Yeah. And I was interested to see. I think he might have been kind of laying on his back a little bit to try to set up a triangle there, but that was a smooth transition. Good work by both men. Very impressive.
It was a fun match.
Yeah.
That was. I think that's my favorite match of the night so far.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I could tell when he lifted him, I was like, uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by guillotine show. Ricky Lobatto.
Excellent job by Ricky Lobatto. Beautiful guillotine choke. But heck of a performance by Gavin Karshner as well. Great
Very
wrestling.
Nice. Very nice.
Great matchup there.
That was fun. That got the blood pumping.
Good of Ricky Lobatto to keep his wits about him when he gets picked up in the air and still keep trying to fight, because that's when he connected his hands.
Yep. Next up, we have Dylan Taylor and Tristian Turner. Looks like Dylan Taylor's a white belt, and he's up against Tristian Turner, who's a wrestler. So we got another jiu-jitsu versus wrestling matchup. Somebody's coming out to Dr. Feelgood. Nobody is having more fun tonight than Dave Frenette's mother. I'll tell you that much.
That's accurate, my friend.
Every time I look back there, she's having a blast.
She's excited to actually be a part and see what all goes down.
We
So
have
first
fun
live event.
here at New Line Cagefighting. I don't know if you guys know that, but we have a lot of fun here.
We're only on about, looks like what, 5 of the evening? Still got lots of good fights coming up.
Got a big night ahead.
Quite a few.
This is a mega card.
I really like the way that Keith is structuring these with the grappling before. That's a very good idea. Gets a lot of opportunity to compete, get used to being under the lights for some of the younger grapplers.
And here we go. Dylan Taylor has been, I talked to him a little bit before this matchup. He's been training with my old friends Ken Beverly and Lee Spurgeon down in Hazard, Kentucky. I think they took this actually on 1 day's notice. His teammate Dakota Begley's here fighting, so he decided to take his first grappling match.
Got some good dramatic entrance music.
This is like the quintessential fighter walkout song. Like,
I'm a big Eminem fan, but I've always been afraid to touch his songs as for a walkout because I've seen more often than not people lose walking out to Eminem.
it's the
than they win.
Eminem curse.
It is.
You know,
First off, you don't walk out to Eminem, from my experiences, and you don't let Drake bet on you.
there was a curse we talked about locally. Everybody I ever saw walk out to I'm Shipping Off to Boston by Dropkick Murphys lost. Every time.
I do believe that turned around with Chase, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
First guy I ever saw win to that song, he broke the curse.
He looks Irish enough to be able to carry it.
I
Maybe
think
that's the
he's
problem.
allowed.
Yeah.
That was the curse of the Irish.
Taylor, you're up.
Look how pretty Colin looks. That's such a great shot.
I got to make sure I sit further away from the camera next time.
We are still awaiting Dylan Taylor to the cage.
Everybody, you got to find a partner who looks at you like Colin looks at a grappling match.
Oh, yeah. I've done like 2 things with my life that are worthwhile. I'm very good at my job,
Well,
and I love jiu-jitsu.
Interestingly enough, they can't find this fighter. We are looking for Tristian Turner.
Maybe he's still just waiting for a certain part of the song.
That perfect moment.
And it looks like this one is scrapped, gentlemen.
Well, Dylan Taylor looked very excited, but all right.
It's one of those things that happens.
Oh, that was Tristian Turner that stepped into the cage. So Dylan Taylor, MIA. Moving on.
Dylan Taylor spared us from saying the wrong names again.
You're right. It's a curse. Whoever walks out to Eminem, sometimes you don't even get to show up. he just
got
sent his
teleported
walkout
out.
song and left. Yeah, play that song, and then I won't be here. Joe Costanzo is a guy who trains out of Charleston, West Virginia, Butch Hiles MMA. I saw him grappling a little bit before the event here. Guy's got some skills.
Get another guy representing Butch Hiles here.
And he always likes my Facebook posts, so I'm a fan of Joe Costanzo. This will be the first time I've seen him compete.
That's a pretty easy bar, though. Your Facebook posts are generally pretty high quality.
I appreciate
It's
that.
usually
I
like
work
a good
hard on them.
Bukowski quote or something like that.
It's either a stupid meme or a Bukowski quote.
The highest forms of artistic expression.
And now here we've got Donald Cooper training out of Bluefield BJJ coming to the ring. I always say the ring. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I've called too much boxing. It's a cage, everybody.
Yeah, it's
just so you know. If you're listening on the radio, it's a cage. Keith No here. He's matchmaking as we speak. He can't stop. He's like, we've only got 30 matches. We need more.
So it sounds like we're going to get Tristian Turner and Gavin Karshner.
Interesting. That'll be fun. Get to see Gavin get a second chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tristian's opponent didn't show up, but we have a match, so we're at the back of the card.
So interestingly enough here, Donald Cooper has also followed in Dylan Taylor's footsteps and walked out to Eminem. I wish him better luck.
Well, he's here, so he's already doing
He's already doing better.
And the same song. It's bizarre.
Donald Cooper.
I like that he was shadowboxing before his BJJ
Yeah.
match. It really throws you off. You're like, is he going to hit me?
Charleston, West Virginia. Joe Costanzo.
Joe looks very ready. He's got a good low stance here. This is an interesting match.
Joe's legit. Just watching him practicing a little bit with John Cooper before the match, like I can tell he's the real deal. You see how calm he is there, just keeping his hands low, ready to shoot for that underhook. Bizarre, almost. I like it. I liked his style.
He slides right into mount. Trying to get heavy pressure. Good frames, but he might be looking at giving up his back. Costanzo, good top pressure here, settling him back down. He's not able to completely regard. He was able to decouple the hips there for a second, but Costanzo doing a good job of riding the off balance.
Cooper's trying to do that knee and elbow escape, but he's not having much luck.
Yeah, Costanzo's doing a good job of riding his hips up high on it. Now we see him playing underneath of the head.
Excellent work so far from Costanzo.
Yeah, we see he's very calm here on top.
Now you've got to like this guy. He's another man with a beautiful Italian name, just like you.
Yep, Italian name, top pressure, big legs. Those are
thick thighs.
Thick thighs. He's got the underhook on the far side. Now we got that chest pressure. Was able to regain half guard, but he won the underhook battle in the process. Costanzo was able to win the underhook battle in the process.
Great job finally getting back to half guard, though. He needed to make something happen.
Now this cross-face and underhook position from half guard can be very controlling, but we saw Costanzo disconnecting his hands, and he was able to make some space, and now he might be looking at technical stand-up or maybe wrestle up, something like that. He's taking the center of the cage. He doesn't like getting his head mashed in there.
He's willing to play the guard game here.
Now he's getting wrist control, staying nice and calm himself.
This is excellent work from both guys so far. We see Costanzo steps over, trying to get right back to that mount. Now he's just going to climb up.
Yeah, he's able to sit here, settle on both knees pinned together. He's got the legs shackled together.
Excellent job just sitting, scooting back, getting back out of the way, back to guard.
He elects to drop down to a knee, start trying to pass low and slow. Just trying to force those butterfly hooks past, controlling at the knee.
It's challenging. That seated guard, like you've got to be confident to play that game no gi.
Yeah, you have to be very comfortable with your feet, using your feet in the inside position. We see an Imanari roll attempt. He's almost able to get there.
You hear the excitement in Colin's voice when a guy rolls for a leg lock.
Particularly that right-hand Imanari roll. We see some kind of a molecular structure tattooed on the inside of the shin there of Joe Costanzo. I wonder what that is. I'll have to ask him afterwards. My chemistry is too rough to recognize it off the top of my head. Well, maybe settling back towards the shoulder crunch here.
I like Costanzo's pace. He just flows. And you see that at a higher level. Guys aren't tense. Guys aren't burning themselves out. He's playing the game. This guy's been rolling quite a while.
Yeah, both of these guys, honestly, doing a good job mitigating their pace. We see good high butterfly here, keeping that knee nice and high, but Costanzo's able to mash it through, slide up in the mount here.
And I think that's the thing. You definitely see these two are a lot higher level than we've seen so far tonight. These guys are a lot more methodical.
Might be looking to set up a Darce, right? He's digging that overhook nice and deep. But Cooper is able to shrimp.
Cooper has a good active guard.
Yep, he does. And good composure to not get too flustered. I think he was kind of surprised with the pace of that first pass attempt, but he did a good job recovering.
He's got a tight overhook. And let's see what he can do with it here.
We see Costanzo doing a good job stopping him from getting that collar tie in addition to the overhook, which is a good triangle setup usually. See him opening the legs and starting to go towards
omoplata, but beautiful job. Costanzo just flows right through it, ends up in a great spot.
Very nice.
Nice.
Resists the urge to fall back on that leg lock that he might not have and uses it instead to control on top. Good smooth hip motion there by Joe Costanzo. Good job keeping the elbows in tight by Donald Cooper on the bottom, though. So far, he's been able to stop him from getting a good underhook, which is really kind of the linchpin. Other than the Ezekiel, you really need an underhook from mount to make things happen.
Costanzo just content to ride that mount position. He's being a wet blanket right now on Cooper.
Yeah, especially we're not even quite yet halfway through this
He's thinking about the arm bar, though. You can tell he's thinking about that arm.
Yeah,
he's going up to the S mount almost type position.
Now, whenever somebody's up on one side, they're very difficult to go to that S-mount. Yeah, and we see him almost lose top position because of it. You want to have people flat on their back when you transition into S-mount, so you can keep that weight on the sternum. But he's doing a good job here, staying relaxed. Good defensive work on the bottom, though, working towards the knee elbow escape again.
He's stepping up again, but he's going for that S-mount before he's quite ready for it.
Yeah, that's another one. You really should have an underhook, or both, preferably for that S-mount armbar transition.
Cooper's done a good job just
and now he's
blocking.
in on the leg. Good backside.
Wow.
He's got backside outside exposure. Now he's transitioning it off to the other side. The knee line is free, but will be interesting to see what happens in this scramble.
Costanzo's knee's out of there, though. He's in good shape now.
He was able to backstep out of the whole mess after he cleared his knee. Good defensive transition from him.
This is a good matchup. Both guys are fairly evenly matched. Costanzo's got good top pressure, but Cooper has an excellent guard, and he's tricky.
And you can tell that Cooper's relatively comfy with his leg lock game there, right? He went right away to that reap earlier. We saw him make a pretty decent entry there on the Imanari. Difficult to even make the beginning steps of that Imanari roll happen if you don't know what you're doing.
Costanzo's in a really good spot right now. I'd like to see him go to that combat mount, put the other knee down, go to the side, get the seatbelt grip.
Yeah, I'd like to see just a little bit more upper body control fighting. He's been pretty comfy with his hands on the mat. Now we see he's got an arm trapped, I do believe, maybe in close to gift wrap position. But good job not giving the back there by Cooper. But now we're in danger of...
Cooper's wise to it. He realizes he's in danger and
good
he
escape,
goes back to his back.
almost back to single leg X, but he's able to get half guard back out of it. But he's starting to turn his back again. You got to be careful turning your back from half guard because he's already got that top hook in. All he needs to do is make a chest to back connection. But Costanzo doesn't seem interested in taking the back.
Yeah, he's not interested in taking the arm either. He's not going for that Kimura grip on the arm, not taking the arm when it's out there to be grabbed.
Interesting to see now that we only have 3 minutes remaining if he'll start to be a little more aggressive with his upper body controls. But again, here you see he's just kind of content to use his hands to keep Cooper in place.
It seems like he's thinking about the neck.
Yeah.
He's almost forgotten about the arms. They're just in the way, and he's looking for the neck.
Now he's on the back, but he's very high, but he's able to settle back down. Now he might have a hook in on the far side.
You know, interestingly enough, actually, I heard Costanzo talking to John Cooper before this match. I heard him say, I don't like going for joint locks. I'm always looking for the choke.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Elio Gracie strategy, right? The tough guy doesn't tap when you break his arm, but everybody goes to sleep. So now we see he's able to get both hooks in that transition. Settle on the back. We're on the choking arm side.
And he's trying to peel that top arm off, isolate it so that he can dig under the neck.
Pretty good 2-on-1 control for a second there, but now we're moving back up. He's trying to either stay in the mount. Oh, he lost the underhook in the transition. Now we see Cooper doing a good job making him pay for not being able to stick that underhook.
See, he floats with the opposite knee of what I would, the combat mount position.
And it's worked very well for him as far as retaining top position, which is a good recursive strategy, right? You're making the guy tired on the bottom.
Almost looks like he's trying to set up.
I wonder if he's trying to set up a triangle. Perhaps maybe even maybe even Ushiro Senkaku if he can get it in the transition. But there we see a good transition again. Now he's back up. Every time he's on his feet, we see Cooper getting close to the legs. Now we're in on that again.
He's digging. He's trying to go under for it.
Now he's looking this time for a straight ankle. We'll see. Interestingly enough, he's able to put him on his hip.
He's in a good spot for it now.
Very difficult finishing mechanics. He's able to push both of the feet to double outside Ashi. Seems pretty comfy here, though.
Costanzo doesn't look worried about it at the moment.
Nope, and he's able to free his knee line, controlling the feet. Very difficult to finish from double outside Ashi.
But
he's trying to set up a knee bar. That was a good call from whoever in the crowd said that. He's got to control the toes, though. He's got to control the toes or start transitioning to cross Ashi. We're here in this outside Senkaku position as he starts to bring both of his feet to the inside.
Cooper's doing a good job controlling that arm.
Yep. You see he's able to fish those feet in. Cooper should be trying to get those feet off.
Yeah, there
very
he goes.
Nice. Now he's kind of in a lateral knee bar type position, but very difficult to actually finish.
He's not deep enough.
Yeah. Good work by Cooper. Good work by both men there.
This is a great matchup. High level.
Absolutely.
We've seen some upper body transitions, some lower body transitions. Very nice stuff from both of these guys. Now with 20 seconds remaining.
It looks like he's going to pass again.
Yeah.
Right to mount. This one's going to be a really interesting overtime.
Good work by both of these guys.
Now we will enter into EBI overtime.
I really enjoy those half butterfly transitions that Cooper was using. He's got the good beginnings of that stuff. He keeps polishing that for a few years. He's going to be a real leg lock menace.
He was getting good elevation.
Yep, he's able to get good elevation. A few times he just got his hips smashed together, and that's whenever Costanzo was able to take over the top.
Costanzo's got really nice top pressure.
Now we see starting here in the seatbelt, Donald Cooper.
Good job, quick escape.
Costanzo escapes very quickly.
9 seconds by Costanzo there. Oh,
And Costanzo had good back control earlier, so
he's already got his hip on the mat though. Be interesting to see if he can
that
clear.
hook is still staying in there. It looks like he's able to hang on to it.
We have passed Costanzo's escape time.
There he's starting to get that angle he needs.
Yeah, he's going to get out at this point, I do believe, and he's
He's
on the
gonna
side
start
where he's not
cutting.
going to get arm triangled. Costanzo there doing a good job with that Alexio Lennox style body scissors and using that underhook on the far side, but I do believe we're pretty close to
He's
getting an escape
he's out.
called. Yep, very nice. 40 seconds. Fast escape from Cooper as well, though.
So we've got a 31-second advantage
Yep.
for Costanzo at the moment.
Well, interesting to see if Joe's able to hit that same kind of speedy escape.
I'm always interested to see whether guys choose the back or the armbar position. Which
Wow, look at that.
which do you
Look at
prefer,
that.
Colin?
5 seconds out for Costanzo. Personally, it's an interesting dilemma. It's generally much faster to escape the arm lock, but the odds of submission are much higher too. So it's a bit of a gamble. Most of the time, you see most guys, if they're not from a 10th Planet gym, they're generally going to give all their whacks at the back control. Most people are much more comfortable from that position. I will say that I was able to compete against one of Eddie Bravo's guys one time, and I was shocked at the control that he was able to exert from that spiderweb position. It was almost a pin. It was difficult to break his back mount.
The black belt that I'm under, Aaron Goebel, he was excellent from the spider web position.
And Cooper's out.
If you can control that leg, use perfect head pressure, it's hard to get out of the spider web.
Very difficult. And that's something that, unless you've rolled with somebody at that level, you don't really understand. You think it's just escaping a general armbar, but those people have that position well developed. Costanzo with a
All right, we're in
pretty
our
pretty
last
substantial lead here, but it's definitely not out of reach.
OT round here.
Costanzo
Wow,
out immediately.
Very quick.
I'm going to call that 1 second.
And you know, at the moment, too, when you choose that spider web position, these guys are sweaty. They're slippery. It's going to be tough to hang on to that.
Now, at this point, we really would need to see a submission from the bottom from Cooper. Costanzo's up on rad time in a way that can't be caught up to. But
Cooper is still fighting hard trying to get out of that back control, though.
and he's already done a good job. He's already got him off to the side. I think at this point he is going to get out without getting subbed, but and his escape times have been very respectable himself, even though he's behind. There, yeah, again, out in under 30 seconds.
This was just a great matchup. Two high-level guys. Costanzo just
Costanzo,
is a better man today.
Costanzo.
Yeah, winner,
He's got the nickname of George too. I think I have a new favorite.
I think
grappler.
I just made that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah.
George Costanzo.
He gives a good shout out to Butch House, black belt out of Charleston, West Virginia. One of the first handful of black belts in the state.
Now, I loved his wrestling style, like that strange run he did at him. Now, if you see that coming at you down a dark alley, would you be terrified?
I'd be terrified.
That weird herky-jerky, like caveman walk he
Turning
did?
around and running.
He's doing a good job there, keeping his hands low, right? He's ready to down block any shots that come, and he's got the forehead-to-forehead connection, so he's not really that worried about anything happening instantaneously from a collar tie. So,
Genius,
Yeah.
really. He's an innovator.
and he was able to use those low hands, the same way that like someone like Anderson Silva or Fedor uses low hands in their striking to set up punches you don't see coming. He was able to set up those underhook grips early that we didn't see coming.
I know, like
honestly, I think being on top in that very first exchange kind of set the pace for the match, right? He never relinquished top position.
he looked excellent. His top control was great. Never really lost position. That guy was able to recover guard a couple times.
Yeah.
Cooper had good guard and good leg lock attempts, but
Yeah, you see the beginnings of a good leg lock game there. If Cooper keeps polishing that, he's hitting the right marks. He's just not quite there yet. But good stuff from both of them.
And here we go. We've got Bailey Manley versus Harley Jennings. Bailey Manley out of Davis Karate and Harley Jennings out of Bluefield BJJ. Davis Karate, you can't let them fool you. We've seen several of their competitors before. For a traditional martial arts school, they have excellent grappling.
Yeah, and you see, now that we have this era with so many good online instructionals and the dissemination of jiu-jitsu around the country with just somebody who happened to be a good black belt somewhere moving somewhere else, like you've got good grapplers coming from places you wouldn't necessarily expect. And I believe this is Bailey, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they said he was 17, but they were fine with leg locks being legal, so that was one of the, all subs are legal in all the other matches, but whenever we had a teenager, they left it up to the competitor and their coach to decide if they wanted to play with the legs, and he elected to allow it, so it says something about his confidence as well.
I think things have changed. The mentality of BJJ has changed. You know, back in the day, leg locks were frowned upon.
Yeah.
Everyone hated people like you.
Yes, they did. Even luckily I was well liked enough by my black belt instructor that I was able to get away with being the leg lock guy and then slowly matriculated into our curriculums.
Well, you see now with the Donna or Death Squad, there's a bunch of leg lock killers, and it's part of the game now.
Yeah,
if you're not doing it, you're missing a massive piece of your game.
And I think especially now that we're seeing the connection between using leg locks to set up as sweeps, right? They're not just attacks at the leg. That's something I was able to do a little bit in that abbreviated match with Hunter, is just use leg lock transitions to get on top. Whenever you're rolling with somebody who's got good defense, you're not going to hang out there forever and break them.
I don't think you see... I don't think... I don't think you see enough of that in MMA, guys going for leg locks in order just to get on top.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's...
Next battle up in the blue corner from Bluefield, West Virginia, Harley Jennings.
And I believe we see George Euler in the corner there.
Now this is the guy, he's 2 weight classes lower, and he didn't have a match, and he volunteered to go up 2 weight classes just so he could beat. From Moorhead, Kentucky, Bailey Manley.
That's something we love to see in jiu-jitsu, right? It's a little bit of a less dangerous sport. You get to test yourself, right?
It takes some guts. You can see the size difference here.
And we've got a size and an age difference. Like we got a grown man. Yeah, this is an interesting match. That says something about somebody's confidence.
Good job taking the back, but he lands.
He's in scarf hold, but he's
just got to pop out the back door.
Yeah, he's got to get that elbow to the mat.
Beautiful.
He's
Look at
able
that
to
sweep.
use it to bridge. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Great job by Bailey Manley to get on top.
Now he finds himself in the guard here.
What's your opinion on that scarf hold, Colin?
Scarf hold very difficult to control in nogi. We see a punch.
Oh
attempt
man,
here
he's
on the
caught in
bottom,
an Ezekiel choke.
and he was able to use it to reverse him. I think he might have stripped the grip. No, he's still in it. He's still in the thick of it. Now
He's
we've
in
got,
big trouble.
He's got that left carotid artery cut off with the bicep.
He's in
coming,
big
it's
trouble
coming,
right
it's
here.
Pretty close here. We see
You can
good
tell
pressure
Manley
here.
is trying so hard.
You
not
knew
to
it
be
was bad
caught.
because he gave up that top position for it.
Yeah.
And it looks like he bought himself some time.
And we see he's made the transition to side control, which is a much more
It's
difficult.
a tough spot to finish that.
Yeah, it's a difficult position to finish from. We'll see if he's
thinking about tapping, though.
He's thinking about tapping, but he's also doing a good job of staying up on his side, starting to scissor. But, yeah, very good control and top pressure.
Man.
That was a great job, Ezekiel.
Good reversal there by Bailey Manley, though. He's got nothing to hang his head about, especially short notice, weight class is smaller. Like, that was a very good effort. The fact that he was able to reverse that scarfold position. But, yeah, back to what you were saying. Scarfold, very difficult to control no-gi. I think in my gym personally, I have my guys focus mostly on the escapes. So
Well, you feel, every time I go for the scarfold, I feel like my back's wide open.
it's very difficult.
And-
Out of the blue corner by Ezekiel Choloe in the first round, Harley, Jennings.
But there are some people who love it. Look at Josh Barnett,
That's
tap
what-
Dean Lister with it.
And that was actually what I was just about to say. I was able to attend. Barnett had a seminar at Butch Hiles' gym maybe a month or two ago, and I was able to go there, and that was one of the things that we worked on. And I'll tell you what, just being the uke underneath of Josh while he was explaining some things to the guy I was working with, I was like, oh, this is different level as crush. I know Josh is obviously a few weight
Well,
classes
I know
bigger,
when you
but
do it right, it's a choke as
Yeah.
well. You
Yeah.
know, that pressure.
it's very difficult. It looks simple on the outside, but the positioning of where you have to be to not get reversed and also apply maximum pressure, there's a lot of very small details that.
The only two guys I've seen that are really good at it are Josh Barnett and then Olenek.
Yeah,
In the
Alexei
modern
Olenek.
era,
Yeah.
anyway.
And Olenek has 7 or 8 subs with it, and in fact sub Krokop with it, who most
I
people
remember,
say
yeah.
is one of the strongest guys they've ever grappled. So if you're able to tap Krokop with something like that, Olenek's got a serious squeeze.
I remember Brendan Schaub talking about how strong Krokop was
Yeah.
when they fought. He said he felt like he's made out of metal.
Yeah, that's what generally people who roll with Krokop say. He's one of the strongest people they've ever rolled with, which is interesting for somebody who's not from a grappling background historically. I mean, he's obviously been grappling for 20 years now, but
Krokop was interesting. His jiu-jitsu was interesting just because he had such good defensive jiu-jitsu
Yes.
for a striker.
Yeah.
It's honestly the blueprint of what you need to do if you're a kickboxer to survive against a jiu-jitsu guy.
and you saw him advance it throughout his career from the time when he got subbed by Nogueira to eventually he was on top mounting and controlling Josh Barnett, who's one of the best grapplers in the history of the sport.
He brought in Verdum, and
Yeah.
I think that changed the game for him.
Yeah, and he just brought in Verdum and paid for him to live in Croatia with him for a number of years, which ended up benefiting both of them in the long
Yeah,
term.
look at Verdun striking
Yeah.
now. Verdun became an excellent kickboxer in his own right. Remember when he knocked out Mark Hunt?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. And he was able to really put some damage on Cain Velasquez on the feet, too,
Absolutely.
which was what kind of how he set up that guillotine that he finished Cain with.
We have got Jessica Pritchard coming up next. We've had Jeremy Karshner's whole crew. We've had his son. Now we're going to see his old lady.
And I've gotten to see Pritchard grapple before. She grappled one of our girls at one of the New Line events. A very good match. I think ended up going to a draw because there was no overtime. But
Jessica is one of the most dangerous female fighters in the tri-state area. Her, I don't know if you've seen her knockout win.
I have. It's brutal.
Devastating.
Yeah, it's one of the flat line.
You don't see
Zero
that often
questions,
in
yeah.
women's MMA.
Yeah.
You don't see that kind of power.
Yep. And very physically strong. I was very impressed with how she was able to deal with the physical strength.
I'm afraid
Lilia.
of her.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. I wouldn't want to make her mad.
And
I think-
her opponent's training out of Category 5, so I'm assuming this is going to be a pretty good match. I think Jessica's still a blue belt, maybe. I know she was a blue belt at that time. I don't know, but yeah, this will be an interesting match.
And it looks like we've just got 2 grappling matches left till the main event, or main card.
And we see Chloe Adkins walking out in that same cheetah print that the other Category 5 grappler had earlier.
And it looks like Chloe Adkins has stepped into the cage. She's got the leopard print rash guard going on.
Category 5, a very high-level jiu-jitsu gym in the area. They're in Hurricane, West Virginia. Unfortunately, I don't know his last name, but Wes, the black belt, and one of the head coaches there. I've gotten to train with a lot of his students. And
Wes
speaks
Hamilton,
very,
I believe.
yeah, everybody speaks very, very highly of him. I've seen him compete at Butch's tournaments. Very skilled grappler, so anybody that comes out of that gym has a good base.
think that Category 5 has 5 people competing tonight.
Yeah, they've got Eric Kuhn fighting as well.
Yep.
And that's a grudge match, if I've ever seen one. It looks like, I don't know if you got to see the live weigh-in show, but those two about scrapped.
Eric seems like he was a pretty respectful guy the bit I've met with him, but he's got a couple grudge matches already. I think he's on his second fight in his second grudge match.
Eric's a really nice guy when you're not fighting him, but when you're fighting him, he has a tendency to get under people's skin in a way that you don't see often.
We have a women's jiu-jitsu open weight match. In the blue corner, we have Choloe, Adkins. All right, out of the red corner, this is the girlfriend of the main event fighter. Jessica Pritchard.
Jessica, the girlfriend Pritchard.
Yeah, I like that our notes say Karshner's woman and Karshner's son for 2 of the grappling matches. Now Jessica was very physical in the wrestling.
Her on the head here.
Yeah.
She's being
Chloe doesn't
super
seem-
annoying already.
Chloe doesn't seem interested in engaging that, although she tries to shuck by. I was very impressed with Jessica's physicality in the collar tie transitions in the previous match.
She's an
that I saw.
aggressive, angry woman.
And you see that in general with people transitioning from MMA and then taking jiu-jitsu matches, right? They bring that physicality that they're accustomed to from the striking arts. And oftentimes you can see jiu-jitsu people sometimes get flustered by it, but Chloe doesn't seem flustered by it. She seems just kind of like, okay, push me around.
It looks like Pritchard might be talking to her a little bit.
Now Chloe's stepping in there with aggressive collar ties, but Jessica Emmerich's able to get her into double collar ties.
Nice. Here's a scramble.
Yep.
She's going for the triangle now.
She's already got that. The arm's inside, but we might get into
this
a TP.
This is a nice position here, though.
TP dead orchard. She might be able to get the arm lock on the other arm here. Yep, now she's making that transition.
Changing that angle now. Got her in a dangerous spot, but she's got her hands together. She knows what's up.
And we're getting into a position where this is a double head side Jujigatame. If she gets to it, she might have to transition out around here to the backside towards the arm saddle.
You know how much it embarrasses me when you pull out those Japanese names of things. You got to stop it.
I watch too much.
Jujigatame. Good Lord.
Blame Rob Daigle and the Danaher black belts. But yeah, she's doing a good job keeping that. Now she's opening it up towards an Americana style, but difficult to finish on somebody with flexible shoulders.
Where I come
Is
from,
this kind of
we call
like a
this
can
an arm
opener
bar.
style thing here, Colin?
Yeah, but you can see Pritchard is trying to finish this as like an Americana by taking that wrist out, right? Since she wasn't able to get that arm straight. But again, she's here staying hooked under that far hip for the. She's able to clear.
And now Chloe is in a great spot here in top side control. She stayed real patient.
And you hear Wes
She's
again, that Cat 5 heavy top pressure jiu-jitsu.
She's
that
kind
they
of
play.
rushing to the mount a little bit.
Yeah,
but she doesn't need the mount right now.
And that's what her coach was telling her. Take your time. Don't lose position in that transition. I think she kind of settled off here, and she might be looking to maybe set up a cradle to kind of make Jessica get tired for a second here.
What do you do here? What's your go-to right here? When she's turning to her side, going belly down.
Personally, I would probably try to slide into a leg drag type position, actually put my knee in between Jessica's legs, but very difficult to just slide over to mount somebody like that. They're probably just going to turtle and make a scramble. So I think she needs to definitely keep Jessica's right arm pinned to the mat so that she's not able to get all the way back to turtle. But again, very difficult. Now we're going up. She started to slide up in towards like a Kajura Kesugatame or the broken scarf hold, but Emmerich's able to get her, Pritchard's able to get her elbow back to the inside. I'm used to seeing her name on Facebook, and I say the wrong last name from what's on the paper.
Chloe's leaning forward a lot and creating and giving up a little too much space.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing that's saving her right now is she's got that good strong underhook on the far side, so she's able to keep the shoulders pinned to the mat. Now she swung that hand to the inside. I'm interested to see what she's going to try to do here.
I think if Jessica could just dig that overhook, time that roll when she leans like that. But right now she's in a better spot. She's sinking down.
And I think Jessica might have a look at getting towards a ghost escape, too, if she's able to get that right arm. But she's using it as a good frame on that inside bicep.
Stopping that shoulder pressure.
Yep.
Frames are so important in jiu-jitsu.
She needs to be careful, though, that she doesn't just stay framed here for too long and carry that weight, because that will tire you.
She's trying to cut back to the half guard, but she's not making enough space to do it.
Yeah, very, very difficult when somebody's got that.
There we
go. Now she's back. Now she's got both of those underhooks freed. Doing a good job keeping her elbows in tight as Jessica.
And you hear the corner there. Great job. So see that Kimura warning her about it.
Really
Wes Thompson.
Wes Thompson, yeah, that sounds
excellent black belt.
Back to close guard
some
for
great
Jessica.
coaching here.
Yeah, on both sides. Now we see she's starting to try to pack that wrist down, right? She's looking for that Dagestani handcuff on Jessica's left arm. But very difficult to actually break open a closed guard that way. And when you can't hit somebody, it's kind of hard to use. But we'll see if she's able to use that. If she can break open the guard, then she'll be able to pass from there.
So demoralizing when somebody starts passing that hand across when you're in guard. You just know nothing good's going to come from it.
And we see Jessica using knees to chest aggressively there to break that grip. Now she's back over top of the head, maybe looking at an overhook with 5 minutes in.
It's a strange position, you know. Chloe's got her head buried there. There's not much that Jessica can do. Maybe go for that right arm.
Yeah, she's got to take an overhook on that right arm, in my opinion, shrimp out to that side and start attacking again towards that armbar triangle or maybe even some butterfly stuff. She can start to push it down, maybe go for 100% on that arm as well. She's content to frame it away, though. Yeah. Good knees to chest, right? That's the thing that you see a lot.
Those elbows are flared way out, though.
Now she's getting her a little bit of TP action just there with the strong
crunch. Thinking about that TP choke, which is a tough one to pull off.
Yeah, and I've seen people who have the squeeze there and can actually pop ribs. Very difficult to finish in comp, but yeah, we see her falling back.
Good wrist control from Jessica. She loses it, though.
Now she's playing double overhooks on the trap.
And now a good rule of thumb, what I was always told, you never want to post on the mat.
Yeah,
and we see Chloe doing that a lot.
Yeah, and that's why she's in this overhook right now. Now, Jessica doing a good job trapping that. I'm not sure exactly what she's trying to set up there with that
I think she's thinking about a mirror lock.
Maybe. Now she's going towards a Kimura, which is kind of the classic thing you do when somebody posts their
I'd
hands
love
on the
to
mat.
see her chain it with that sit-up sweep because I think she could land it.
I agree.
That was one of my favorite series, was the sit-up sweep to Kimura to guillotine.
Yep. You get that good forwards and backwards momentum.
It's old school, but it works. If you learn how to do it well and keep going back and forth from one to the other, eventually you're going to land one.
Got a little wrist fighting going on here.
Yep, good battle for hand control. We got 2.5 minutes, almost 3 minutes remaining. Now, it looks like Chloe might be starting to try to set up a body lock, but you can't body lock somebody in closed guard, right? You got to get the butterflies. You got to get the guard open before you get those hands low and start to try to connect.
Very occasionally, you see somebody smash pass, but you got to have, like the seatbelt grip, you got to have that jaw pressure.
Yeah, and generally you're not going to see it when two people are equally sized either. That's something you'll see doesn't translate well in the same. Yeah.
I don't know, Colin. I used to love that pass. But I was a big guy and then got skinnier and kept doing it. So I don't know.
I wanted so bad to get as good at it as my coach, who was quite a bit bigger than me, and I failed miserably in my attempts. So maybe I'm just jaded.
Your legs are too short. That's what it is.
My legs are too short.
And you're not built for it.
I'm a troll.
You're an outside dog.
It's a corgi in this instance. Jessica doing a good job
If
making
you're
her
going to be an outside dog, you want to be like one of the Queen's corgis.
That's right.
What do you think happened to the Queen's corgis after she died? I really wonder about that all the time.
That's a good.
Is that what keeps you up at night?
It does.
Jessica's doing a good job keeping guard retention here in closed guard, but having a hard time setting up upper body controls that you need to actually launch subs or sweeps. Very difficult. I mean, there's only a handful of closed guard sweeps, right? You got to try to scoop under the legs and go into pendulums or something like that. And we see Chloe's kind of content to just stay in here and
they're being
and not
really
get subbed.
really patient, and you know they know that EBI overtime's coming.
Yeah.
If you see a stalemate, you don't want to burn all your energy out before that time comes.
Jessica doing a good job with wrist control now, maybe looking to throw up a triangle. Generally, wrist control from closed guard means a triangle's coming. Now she went to scoop under that leg when she stood, but good defensive reaction immediately sensing it from Chloe. She's doing a good job keep trying to fight that inside bicep tie. Chloe is there. You see that battle happening at the right arm of Chloe. Getting down to the wire here, 30 seconds remaining.
Jessica's got a tight close guard. It's hard. It's making it tough for Chloe to do anything. But it also is making it tough for Jessica to do anything. It's hard to make something happen with closed guard.
Yeah, very difficult.
You're going to have to open that guard in order to work.
Yeah.
But that opens you up to getting past as well.
And I think that's why in recent years we've seen a transition away from the closed guard in MMA as we've gotten to the shorter time limits, right? Hoist Gracie's got an hour to work with Dan Seven or whatever, then closed guard becomes a much more viable long-term position.
Here's my question. When's the last time you saw a high-level MMA fight end in the closed guard? It's very rare nowadays.
The last title fight I saw, and there was Pettis and Benson Henderson, and that was a long time ago.
At least a decade ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. And then you're starting to see, like, Yair Rodriguez and a lot of these young up-and-coming Mexican fighters have very fire offense from their closed guard, right?
He has an excellent triangle.
They're using wrist control and throwing up a hailstorm of offense, but
guys are so wise to it, and it's so hard to submit a guy who's just focused on not being submitted from closed guard.
So we see Jessica here trying to escape the back. Chloe drags her over to the underhook side of the harness.
And this is when that time gets important.
Yep.
We'll see how long it takes Jessica to get out of here if she can do it.
And Jessica seems to be going with the approach of trying to bridge backwards and set her on her shoulders to get off of the side.
I don't see that she's got wrist control either yet. She's looking for it. There it is.
Now she's got that good 2-on-1. She's got the hands separated, but now we're in double underhooks, which is actually a more difficult position to escape, very difficult to attack from, but now she's going back to the neck.
She's over the neck. She can get a nice jaw crank.
But she doesn't have a good chest-to-back connection anymore.
She needs to try to turn her to the other side.
Yep, she's in
her.
She's in danger of Jessica getting that hip to the mat. It's a battle right now of if she can win that battle for that bottom hook.
She needs to use that outside hook to lift that leg and try to roll her to the other side.
Yep.
Nice job recovering there.
She was able to regain the bottom hook, but in the process, Jessica was able to clear the choke attempt. But we're here now a minute in.
It's so difficult to keep control of the back while trying to get the submission.
And we see Jessica's trying to work that 2-on-1 grip where she passes the arm over to the other side of her head. Now she's got that full bridge. She's got her head digging into her chin, and she's giving bridges backwards, putting a lot of pressure here.
She's going to try to turn soon.
You see her moving her head back and around,
I'll tell you this, Jessica Pritchard is a mean grappler.
Yeah.
And I like it. I'm a fan of it.
That's another thing you see with just people who have that MMA training background, right? They lose that fear of upsetting their training partners.
Chloe had her feet crossed at a really dangerous spot at one point.
Yeah, and Jessica was crossing her legs over top of them, so she knows what's up there.
She's trying to do it right now. Crank that ankle.
10 seconds.
Yep, there it is.
Oh. I don't think she's got them crossed high enough where she's safe now, I believe.
Time. So Jessica,
look at that crazy smile that Jessica Pritchard had on her face.
She enjoys the violence.
She enjoys just pushing people in the face and then rubbing her head on people. She's mean. She's a mean woman.
So she's able to survive, but it does take her the full 2 minutes. Oh, she's going to spiderweb. So this will be interesting. Spiderweb, like I said, historically it's a higher percentage of the submission, but it's also a much faster escape for your opponent if they're able to escape usually.
You have to be very confident in your arm bars to go here.
She's got a good deep hook, though, and the way she connected her spiderweb makes me think that she's comfortable in this position, so I'm interested to see this.
She lets go of the leg immediately and uses it to post.
Yep. Which is a bold strategy, because with that leg hooked, you can stop them bridging, and you get a little bit of control over the legs. She goes back to it here now. I think she's definitely working on this as a pin right now. Now, it'd be interesting to see what kind of grip break she goes through. From spiderweb, you generally see people using their legs to break the grip as opposed to using upper body.
I'd like to see her strip that leg off of her head and then start working on the arms.
As long as she's got a good elbow deep hook, though, and she's still got her fingers kind of on top of her quad there, she's got a pretty good grip.
There we go. Now she needs to lean up, start working on the arm.
Now she's got her hands connected, but she doesn't have control of the lower body anymore.
She's just using strength right now, though. She's
not
working on any. There,
beautiful.
Oh,
but that was
beautiful.
And she gets the sub.
Nice.
Beautiful control and grip right there.
Nice job by Jessica Pritchard. Beautiful armbar in the overtime round. Now, that's the end.
Yep,
Am
that's
I right?
the end. Yep, she submitted her in the bottom of the round, so it was very good work from both of these ladies. Good match. And Chloe, when she came out, she was very, I don't want to say passive, but she didn't look super physical in those clinch exchanges, but she was able to hang when Jessica was trying to bully her around. It was a good match.
Excellent work, Jessica Pritchard. She had to be really patient there. Couldn't look happier.
And you can tell that she's comfortable with her arm bars, right? Because she was very close to that arm bar finish in regulation as well from the
Well, you see
bottom.
how many people choose the back control. You knew when she picked that, she likes the arm bar.
Yeah, and when she went for a good, proper deep hook with that top arm, I knew that was a position she was comfortable with.
And next up, we got our main event. This is one you were excited about, Josh Hunt versus Zach Wild.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Josh Hunt's grappling. I've never personally gotten to train with him, but one of my good training partners, Lee Keaton, he lives down in southern West Virginia, so he'll train with Butch whenever he's home for the holidays and stuff, and he speaks very highly of Josh. And anybody who knows Lee knows that he doesn't speak very highly of many people. He's like me.
So he has to be good.
Yeah, he's pretty critical of people's jiu-jitsu, so when he says Josh Hunt's a skilled grappler, even having never grappled with him myself, I'm like, that guy must be really good. And Zach Wild's obviously black belt from Tartarus, the head jiu-jitsu coach there. I had the pleasure of grappling with him. So I got a chance to watch, whenever I grappled him, watch a lot of his matches as film study. Very skilled grappler.
Zach's been around a long time. He's one of the nicest people in the sport, too.
Yeah, even like I popped his ankle and he was nice to me before we even left the gym. You know what I mean? A lot of times whenever you roll with somebody, there's even nice guys, there's a little bit of like, you got to wait till the next time to be friends. You know what I mean?
We saw his last match. He got a terrible shoulder injury, got slammed.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how well his shoulder's holding up. I mean, I'd be surprised if it's 100% by now. Because that wasn't that long ago.
It looked brutal. It was brutal. He was up against an absolute monster in that matchup, though.
Anybody who can pick Zach Wilds up off the ground and send him ass over tea kettle like that
it's
is
not
some
good.
Horsepower. Yeah.
Not good. Just not. You don't want to mess with that guy. He went into Hulk mode. And here we go. We see Josh Hunt making his way to the cage.
You also got to respect Zach Wilds. He's got the basketball shorts and the T-shirt on, which a lot of times you're like, oh, that's somebody who's not very experienced. But when you know that guy's a black belt, you know he's just comfortable. He's like, yeah, I'll grapple somebody.
I don't think Zach was planning on grappling today. I think it's one of those things that just happened.
Yeah, I remember seeing Josh Hunt had a match with somebody whose name I didn't recognize originally. So, and I wasn't sure Zach was on the card. So I think he did take it on short notice. And yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. And, you know, Zach's right here in his hometown. So I'm sure there's a lot of people here rooting for him, excited to see him compete.
And then the other thing I'll say is that Josh Hunt had the unfortunate pleasure of being the uke for the Josh Barnett seminar, which is not a thing that anybody raised their hands for.
I would do it.
I thought about it, and I was like, I'll let one of these bigger boys do that.
Just for the privilege of getting strangled by that man.
From Charleston, West Virginia, in the red corner, weighing 245 pounds, Joshua Hunt.
There's some big boys grappling.
This is probably 500 pounds a man we've got in there.
I'm not certain. I believe Josh is a purple belt under Butch.
Josh started to go for that Uchimata. Not the Uchi. See, you're embarrassing me. Trying to one-up you. It's not even an Uchimata. It's a foot sweep. That's what he was thinking about. I don't know Japanese.
Was it Dayashi Burai?
That's the one. Thank you, Colin.
We see Josh doing a good job. Both of them staying calm here, fighting for underhooks.
The Ashi Barai. You know, I always dreamed of getting really good at foot sweeps because they just seem so effortless, and when you land them, it's so sick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those. I really got deep into them after watching a lot of Overeem's fights, right? Because Overeem was really good at just dumping people the instant he got into the clinch.
Well, that's how he beat Pavlovich.
Yeah.
You see, Pavlovich is a murderer now.
Yeah. And Overeem was able to just foot sweep and put him on his butt and then never let him get back up, climb up on top. And that was, Eco-Reem late in his career.
I think Overeem had some of the most underrated ground and pound of any fighter in heavyweight history.
Yep. And just Overeem is one of those guys, I saw a statistic once. He was the only person that had fought professionally, one of the only people who had fought professionally in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s.
That's bananas.
Because he made his debut in 99.
And we see Josh Hunt presses Zach Wiles up against the cage right in front of us.
He's looking for that inside leg trip there with the Ouchigari, and now he's using it, that cage position.
Now he's
start
digging
to make
down for
into
the
a
single
leg.
Zach's got a hold of the neck.
He's trying to finish it as a knee tap, but not.
And he loses it.
Lost it.
But he's shrimping back to the wall.
He's going to wall walk, get right back up. When you're a big heavyweight, you don't want to be on your back. I don't care how confident you are in your guard.
And Zach's got very good top pressure control. We saw that in his combat jiu-jitsu match with Humbertson there in Bridgeport last year. Good use of the collar tie here to keep some of that weight off of his chest, right? He's got that forearm in the collarbone there, so he's not carrying all of Hunt's weight into his chest.
It's turned into an interesting wrestling match so far. Neither guy is wanting to give any ground.
And we see Hunt finally getting that chest-to-chest connection. Now he's looking for that Ouchigari, but in the transition, Zach threatens to turn him. The overhook becomes a much more useful tool whenever you've got the forced upright posture that the cage affords. Overhooks in open space, generally not as strong as underhooks, but up against the cage when you can start to use it to off balance as a whizzer and set up Uchimatas, becomes a much more powerful tool.
Zach's got a strong overhook.
Yep, and you see right now he's got his hands connected too. He's got the double overs there.
And he's using that for counter pressure here. Anytime that you see Hunt try to get an angle there, Zach's just using that counter pressure.
It seems like Zach's trying to use the cage to kind of break that grip, too. See him kind of swaying back and forth there.
This is going to be a tough man to take down. His defense looks really solid.
I'm impressed at how well his shoulders are holding up in this double overhooks position. A man who just had his shoulder dislocated at one of the last, maybe the last New Line event.
Had almost a grimace on his face, though. It makes you wonder.
Yeah. And this is an exhausting position. Now we see Hunt starting to look for the transition between Kosoto and Ouchi, the outside hook and the inside hook. I'll learn you some Japanese by the time the day's over.
I'll try. When I first started, I was like, I'm going to learn the name of all these throws. And I gave up on that really quickly.
I remember whenever you were doing that breakdown of Czar's fight, you called Tani Otoshi by its right name, and I was like, that is a man that I respect. Valley drop.
Valley drop's one of my favorite takedowns still to this day. It's simple, and it works.
It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite, especially from rear body lock.
I like it from that T position a lot, from the side.
Yeah, when you got the head in front is when I think you have the most control with it.
Yeah, because
that was a good Uchimata
you use the head
yeah.
for the takedown. I think that was my most high percentage takedown was the valley drop.
You know, interestingly enough, Danaher banned that in his gym because he said it's too dangerous. The other guy can turn into you. If the uke turns into you, when you have the head in front, they can dislocate their knee. I've only seen that ever happen once in training, but
the biggest risk with it is if you don't land right, if you don't have the right control, you'll end up on bottom.
now we see them separate, and it's interesting. You know, they both appear to have. You know, these are big boys, and we're 5 minutes into a clinch wrestling, which is the most exhausting part of fighting, anybody will tell you. But I think we might see Hunt might be wearing it a little bit more at this point than Wilds is. Because Zach's been able to keep his back up against the cage, right? He's not been carrying his weight. He's letting the cage carry his weight. Zach settles back down into this double overhooks. Not a lot you can do with the double overhooks on the cage except for turn off and hit Uchimata. But you see Hunt went for Uchimata, but very difficult from that underhook position. Oh, and Zach was able to break the double unders whenever they got out into open space. Beautiful transitions. A lot of subtle, good upper body Greco and Judo going on here. Now we see Zach working for an underhook, but Hunt's able to use wrist control to push that hand back in and get back to his double unders.
And like we thought, this is turning into a wrestling match. Neither guy has really gotten too close to the takedown. It's a really even matchup on the feet, which makes you sad because I kind of wanted to see these guys grapple. Thank God for EBI overtime.
As somebody, I got a bunch of people with MMA fights coming up, so I've been doing a lot of wall wrestling and stuff, so this is actually pretty entertaining to me, but I might be the only person.
You know, for people transitioning from wrestling to MMA, how much of a game changer is that wall?
It's huge. It's not even like jiu-jitsu. It's not like wrestling. It's its own martial art. Wall wrestling is its own martial art.
I don't think I could dream of taking anybody down in the open. All my takedowns are off the wall. It changes everything.
You have to have those GSP level shots. Yeah. Those are the only kind of ones that you usually see finished in the open. You see like guys like Habib most of the time, they're grinding people into these positions and then using upper body clinches and then lower body trips, right? So they're getting that good chest-to-chest connection. So some of the judo techniques that you don't see very often in wrestling where there's so much space and there's no walls and the posture is generally much lower, right? You start to see some of those judo techniques apply more when you're up against the cage because everybody's posture is forced upright by the wall.
Zach's starting to wear that fatigue.
Yeah, they both are. I'm interested to see if we'll even get into some ground grappling here in this 216. And it's not like for lack of trying.
I don't see it happening.
Both of them have had some good attempts. We've seen a couple good trip attempts there by Josh Hunt, but we've also seen a couple nice Uchimata attempts by Zach Wilds using that overhook.
They're just too evenly matched here as wrestlers. Both of them doing a great job defending the other's takedown attempts. Josh Hunt's been leading the dance, though.
Yeah.
But if we're scoring this match so far, no points. So it's interesting.
Oh.
Zach keeps looking for that guillotine, and it might end up getting it. Well, actually,
I think he might get that proper sprawl there. Oh,
so close. His
Josh
head
Hunt's
slips out.
he's able to run the pipe and set him down on his butt.
And, you know, I was wrong. I said no points, but Josh Hunt did have a takedown earlier in the round.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
And it was the same position. He ended up hunting for that guillotine, losing it, ended up taking down. Zach's just taking a little rest here.
He's not quite as anxious to work back to the wall and to turtle and stand again this time. I think he realizes we got 1 minute left and he's getting ready for OT. But it'll be interesting to see if Hunt tries to pass his guard and see if he can finish him here. but we get
Oh, wow,
a
look at
Lobatto
that.
position. Now we're into a funk roll type transition.
And now he's going to take the back.
Oh, hunch-
Oh, man, he's on the neck.
We got 38 seconds.
Neck crank here.
Tap.
Oh, wow. With 30 seconds left, Josh Hunt
Wow.
gets the finish. What a beautiful
Excellent
match
job
by both of these
by
guys.
Josh Hunt. He wasn't under the chin there. It was just a nasty neck crank.
Yeah,
that
and
guy's
when you
got
get-
a squeeze on him.
He's got to squeeze on him in when you get to this level of fatigue, when you got somebody who's trying to break your jaw and jamming your chin into your trachea.
Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
That's the question you ask yourself.
Wilds flip Swan the bird as he exits the cage.
Unimpressed with whatever the words were from his I believe that's his student.
His teammate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by rear naked show from Charleston, West Virginia, Josh Hunt.
Excellent work by Josh Hunt. He was patient, finally found that top position and got the finish.
Good work, Zach.
Oh yeah, we have one more that's been added.
That's right. We've got Gavin Karshner and Tristian Turner.
Then we'll be moving on to the main card, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start seeing some punches, some kicks.
Fisticuffs, you
That's
might
what we
say.
like. We like the violence.
This is Gavin Karshner making his way to the cage for the second time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the fellow that he's grappling was a wrestling experienced guy as well, right? So we've got a little bit more of a, I don't want to say evenly matched. The other match was also evenly matched, but we've got two good wrestlers going with each other now. So we're probably going to see a slightly different dynamic.
I don't know if you ever got to watch or not, Colin, but Chael used to have the wrestling underground, like they do the submission underground type
Yeah.
deal, and that was pretty interesting because it was, like you said earlier, cage wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, the cage makes a big difference. And we saw that actually, I don't know if you guys got to watch, they did some jiu-jitsu matches at the last Karate Combat. Craig,
really?
Yeah, Craig Jones hit a flying triangle off the cage on a former training partner of mine, Phil Rowe, who's a very high-level black belt that's now a UFC fighter. But he went down to Mexico City for the Karate Combat, and it has that like pitched wall.
Yeah, the slant pit.
So it adds an even extra level because it's kind of waist high.
Yeah, I bet that was strange grappling in that.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
I'm going to have
watch.
to look at how he set up that triangle.
Yeah,
Craig Jones is always so interesting to
Yeah.
watch. He's a wizard.
he's a very high-level guy.
I still think about his match with Gordon. I think that he's come closest to actually being able to compete with Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, since Gordon's got his black belt, I don't think anybody's really given him the kind of looks that Craig did. And if you see the training footage from right before the DDS guys split up, Craig has given Gordon the business in rolling. Not giving him the business, he's not, but he's there with him in a way that Gordon's current training partners aren't. So, and shout out to Philly Fresh for going down to grapple Craig Jones on short notice in Mexico City.
It's like Jacob Couch. He did the same thing with Gordon.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's strange. It's so strange seeing a guy that you know and have trained with competing at that level. It was bizarre seeing Jacob Couch rolling with Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
Because, I know that kid. Now, Tristian Turner trains out of Hazard, Kentucky.
This Karshner's, man, they're just, you can't stop them from competing multiple times a night.
They love it. They can't get enough.
Keith couldn't even get through that one himself without laughing.
So, Tristian Turner here.
Well, we're going to see some violence in the collar tie from these boys, I do believe.
Yeah, look at the wrestling already.
I think this one's one we're going to see that kind of Hunter and Zara
I think
pace.
Karshner's going to have the wrestling advantage. From what I've heard from Tristian, he's pretty new to the sport. He's only been training for about a month, but he wanted to compete, see what he could do here. I'm glad he got a chance to. You know, it's hard to come all this way and have your opponent pull out.
It looks like he might be a bit heavier here, so we might see that maybe equalize a little bit some of the skill differential if there is such a thing. But he's doing a good job fighting for those inside positions and collar ties too.
Well, and he's kind of taken a little bit of a page out of Karshner's book there from the last bout that he was in, where he's the one now feinting for the shot.
Yep. Good arm drag into that single leg, head outside.
And he does a good job defending so far.
Oh, the defense.
That was nice by Karshner.
Wow, look at that takedown
Beautiful
there.
transition.
Karshner.
And right here into a cradle.
Karshner did a beautiful job of changing the angle on that single.
Now he needs to fight for an underhook on that far side. Now
beautiful headlock from Karshner, real tight, and he's looking for the guillotine.
Maybe 10-finger style if he gets that belly over top of his head.
Such a sneaky choke, the 10-finger guillotine, and not seen often enough.
Nice switch to the back there from Karshner.
As a go behind.
Tristian's smart to try to cut to his back, get back to guard. But Karshner's doing a great job controlling that leg, stopping him from getting all the way through to guard.
And he's reaching over for the head too. Looks like he might be thinking about falling back on a leg lock.
He is, but he's not got an angle on it.
No, and he's on the inside.
But he's going for it. You got to give him credit.
Yeah, he's looking at it like, I'm not quite sure what to do with this foot, but I want to do something to break it.
Well, I had an old coach, and he said, you know, jiu-jitsu's simple. You just take something and turn it the way it's not supposed to go.
Yeah.
Tristian Turner now looking for a triangle of his own.
We see Gavin posturing out of it, controlling the legs and running right back around. Looking for that good head control. I love that chin strap as a means to control that far shoulder.
It's excellent. You can do so much with the chin strap from any position, really.
Now he's in here, almost like a seated katagatame, but with the arm in.
He needs,
look at that.
He needs to let go now. He'll get caught in a Von Flue choke.
Well, he does have the arm in, so he can't really get the same shoulder pressure as a classic Von Flue.
Where he's up against the cage, he also is going to have trouble dropping that shoulder.
Exactly.
Yeah, Karshner can't wrap the head.
He's got the high elbow on that choke.
Yeah.
If he can get back to guard, he might have something here.
Or even back to this side. On this side, he's got good squeeze. I can't tell where his hands are relative to the chin.
If he could get some butterfly hooks in, he could even elevate.
Yeah.
Now he's in a lot better spot. But he's doing the right thing. Tristian's got that overhook over the shoulder. That's perfect counter pressure for the guillotine.
Great job from Tristian there to survive that squeeze.
Now Tristian needs to settle in. He's in the better position.
And we've still got 6.5 and plus minutes left in this match, so.
Take your time. You're in a good spot.
Now Karshner trying to frame a bit.
Gavin, stand up and drive his head into the corner.
Me and Colin are just going to start coaching against each other here.
We'll just take opposite sides coaching.
He's got a nice can opener here, putting pressure, trying to open up that guard.
Look at the neck on that boy. You're not going to can opener him. Very nice. Digs that arm across. Now
he's got the back.
Take.
Let's see if he can get his hooks in.
Well, he doesn't have hooks, and now we're in a wrestling position. Yeah.
Oh.
Very nice.
Good job by Karshner getting out of there.
Yeah, Karshner's
got the neck.
Even if it's turtle bottom.
And
he's deep on that, too.
He is.
I think we're dealing with,
It almost looked like a darce at first.
His arm is in across pretty deep.
Stand up with it.
He's going to drag him back down, it appears.
Oh, he loses it.
Now ankle pick him, Gavin.
Colin and I love to coach too much to be commentators. We need to be corners.
Well, they're right in front of us.
It's hard not to. They can hear everything we say. We might as well make it something useful.
Good sprawl by Gavin.
Nice job, Gavin. This has been a back and forth match. Excellent job by both guys. Gavin's got the back, and Tristian does his smart job cutting back to guard.
I gotta go pee. If this match ends, will you announce the winner?
He's trying to dig into those thighs and make him open the guard.
There it is.
But you see Tristian's thinking about that triangle choke.
Doing a good job getting to that chin strap.
Now he's got a hold of the leg. Good job by Tristian. Let's see what he can do with it. Excellent job by Karshner. You can hear his dad over there. No, no, no.
Good. Taking the back now.
Good go behind. Now he's got the armbar and that go behind. Wrist right on the far side. Excuse me, wrist right on the
This
near
has
side.
been one of the more fun matchups of the night. I'm glad it got added.
Yeah, same. I figured it might be because we got two good wrestlers. You get those nice scrambles going.
Yeah.
It's $19.
Nice control there with the chin strap. The beauty of that chin strap is you can keep that far shoulder from coming up with your chest. I think a lot of jiu-jitsu people undersell that position because they think it's just about guillotining.
That used to be
Look
one
at
of my
Tristian
favorite
reversing
spots.
position
You
there.
can sweep with the.
Oh,
Oh, that's
he's got it.
nasty.
And look at him escape it.
He keeps going for that beautiful guillotine, but not
Oh,
wrapping
man.
them up
Yeah,
with the
he
legs.
just
If he
doesn't
had
know
that, he would land
He
it.
just doesn't know the leg positioning yet. You teach that boy a Sita
bad there's
Katagatame and we got real problems.
No
Stop
strikes
it.
allowed
You got to
here.
stop this shit.
Sita Katagatame is different than a guillotine, man. It's fundamentally different.
Oh, my God.
Konnichiwa, Elijah.
This is America.
Tristian looking for
We
that.
speak English.
Looking for the other hook there.
Now Tristan's starting to hunt for an RNC. He's got the hand on the
He's
shoulder. He
Gavin
might.
flattened out. It looks like he might have it.
Oh, this is nasty. This is nasty.
He's under it. He got him.
Beautiful job by Tristian Turner, winning his first jiu-jitsu competition. And it was a wild ride. It really was. His opponent didn't show up. He takes a match on very short notice with a very tough wrestler in Gavin Karshner.
RNC 734.
Wait till the top.
You got to scream, Dave. Dave is making his debut as a ring announcer right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by rear naked choke, Tristian Turner.
Excellent work by Dave Fournette, who is both a scholar and a gentleman.
Keith poking fun as I announce. I'm going to shove a Rick's barbecue sandwich in his mouth.
We got to give it up for Smokin' Jay's Barbecue. They're handling the catering on this event, and my God.
All right, that brings us to the main card.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen. The main card. Let's do it.